It says, we know about Emily.
Yeah. It knows me well. You've got the button on.
Oh, goddamn me. Thank you.
No worries.
This is Total Babble. Total Babble. It's a show about music, pop culture, social media, movies, the internet, relationships, TV, whatever. Total Babble. The Total Babble Podcast.
Well, hello.
Caw.
We are back. And as always, if you like this, follow, subscribe, go on Apple Podcasts, write a review. We like that sort of thing. And we always have that phone number, 818-570-0753. I'm Stu, she's Emily, and we're back after being off for a while. Happy New Year. How long is it that you can still say Happy New Year?
Happy New Year to you as well. I think all of January is fair game.
I would say 39 more minutes. I think we're good for Happy New Year, about 39 more minutes. So depending on when you hear this show, you might want to back off on it a little bit. We'll see how it goes. So how are you? What's going on?
What about Lunar New Year? I'm good, but now I'm thinking we can go all the way through February because then we've got Lunar New Year.
That's lunar, like moon lunar?
Correct.
Right.
Also known as Chinese New Year.
Okay, now I'm stumped because now I'm wondering, is Luna the name of your dog, or is your dog named after the moon and it's lunar?
Both.
Okay.
Yes,
How
to
can
both.
that be?
Technically,
Yeah.
lunar, like Spanish for moon, without the R, but
you're
it
right.
means moon.
Right.
However, she wasn't necessarily named after the moon, although she is predominantly white with these little moony patches on her. She was named after Luna Lovegood from Harry Potter because you know how she's twisted and she wears funny glasses and stuff and odd things? Well, our dog has one ear up, one ear down, so we named her after that character because she's a bit weird.
So when you yell at the dog, you don't use an R, though you wouldn't anyway because of the accent. I see. Does your dog ever get confused and go, there's no R there, I don't know what you're talking about, or it's just used to Luna and it goes with it?
I think if she was getting confused, it would finally explain a lot of things.
Yeah.
That might be why she gets her wires crossed.
Well, we solve a lot of mysteries here on the show. That's what we do. You can open up your email. I sent you a special secret outline, and you can take a look at that. I didn't want you to see it until now. While we were away on vacation, people always wonder, like, hey, what do you do? What do you have going on? And I have a new hobby that I've mentioned before, and some people think that we make this stuff up, but I just wanted to show you this. This is a text, and I'm not trying to gross anyone out. I'm not trying to be a shock jock, but one of my new hobbies is, and you can describe what you see there. This is a text to BitKiller Debbie, one of the things I was doing while we were away.
Fabulous. So I know we've talked about the importance of air purification on the show a lot. And so both you and I do have air purifiers. And your new favorite thing is farting directly into the air purifier to see if you can change the air quality rating. So both of us have these air purifiers where they're like either white, green, orange, or red, with red being the worst color, saying your air is very polluted.
Yeah.
And while we were on holidays, you achieved a new high score.
Red. I've gotten to red status.
You've gotten to red status.
Yeah.
While
and you don't have to fart
flatulence.
even at the air purifier, just kind of be near it, and this is kind of my level of evaluation. Just near it, I've hit red status, and I have no white. My levels are red, orange, green, and blue. I'm down to red. I feel like I've achieved my goals. I have nowhere else to go with this. I'm kind of let down. It's kind of...
You've peaked.
It's not even kind of. It's very bittersweet. I've achieved the goal, but now I have nowhere left to go.
Yeah, you've peaked. You've reached the pinnacle of putrefaction.
I'm like a valued athlete in our society that I've been able to do this. Where do I go from here? Now I'm just going to have to start doing commentary, apparently.
Your only option is to refine and review. Do you know what you ate in the 24 hours prior? Are you burritoing it up again?
That's
what
the thing. I was
eat?
eating extra healthy, and I don't know if it was the extra healthy food or the fact that I was getting rid of other crap that was built up in me, but I've achieved red status, and I'm pretty happy about that and pretty proud.
Well, that would make sense, actually, if you were eating extra healthy. And if I am to assume that whilst you were eating extra healthily, you were eating a lot more vegetables.
Yeah, and I think that is what helped it. But you would think if I'm eating vegetables, it might be orange status, not necessarily red, but there you go. It's right there. Proof in front of you. It is the red.
It is the red. It's the bacterial fermentation, though. That's what it is. The air is thick with bacteria.
I do have a high BF value, so you know. Also, this many days dumb, I will admit this, that it just occurred to me the other day as I was looking at stuff. Ted the Bear, we've been talking about that for various reasons. It's come up. It just occurred to me why they call him Ted the Bear. After all these years, after even seeing the first movie, Ted is called Ted because of Teddy Bear. I never connected that before. Look at me.
Wow. Look at my face.
I know they're good when she goes, wow. She does that, and then I know it's a good one. I'm this many days dumb.
That's amazing. But I think that's just evidence of how, sometimes they say you can't see the forest for the trees, or if something's right in front of you, it's just so obvious that you're just like, meh, whatever. It could have been Frank to you.
Right. I am convinced that if they called him Teddy, I would have gotten it. It's just the Ted part. Okay, his name's Ted. I don't know.
Cute.
Yeah. And you told me, you texted me while we were away, I guess your eldest got drunk and crashed the car and broke his watch. Is that what you've been dealing with? Is that your latest?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we fucked up as parents.
Yeah.
For Christmas, because we celebrate Christmas, we purchased our son's mopeds, e-bikes.
So it wasn't drinking and driving the car. I built that up. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. He was having Christmas punch, but it wasn't spiked. One of them was stolen off the back of a FedEx truck, so only one of my children received their Christmas gift this year on time.
That sucks.
The other one still hasn't arrived. I've had to file an insurance claim and purchase another one. It's been an absolute pain in the ass. But yes, the eldest received his bike, which Robert the Drug Runner and I assembled on Christmas Eve. We didn't assemble it correctly, Stu, okay? So this is what happened. Our son was out riding it, and the front wheel fell off. And now he had been riding it for most of the day, but just when all of his mates came out on the street, the front wheel fell off while he was going quite fast. He had grazes all over his hands and body and under his chin. Luckily, he was wearing a full-faced helmet. He scratched up his bike, tore the seat, bent the forks, like all of this sort of stuff, day one. Turns out we didn't put the right lock nuts and stuff on it, but there was no instructions because it came from China. So it was just, we watched the video, still didn't do it right, and nearly killed our own child. So
See, now it's a different story. Before it was the boy being careless. Now it's a whole other thing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, at the time, he took the bike without asking. We were actually hosting people from the neighborhood. And my phone is ringing, and it's our eldest son. And I'm wondering, why would he be calling me from inside the house? No, he's like, I have had an accident. Don't worry, I'm okay. But the bike is not okay. You need to come and pick me up. And so we had to go take my truck and go and get him. But yes, upon further instruction, it was indeed our fault. So we feel bad about that. So
now do you have to buy him another one as the parent? How do you handle that? What do you do? What do you do to make it right? What's the guilt factor?
Not going to buy him a new one, but his dad took him to buy spray paint and gaff tape and all that sort of stuff, and they've repaired it together. Anything that was broken, we fixed, and it's back to being awesome. And he's back to loving it.
And he wrecked his new Apple Watch, you said. He had a Series 11 that is fucked up.
He didn't get an Apple Watch. He likes analog watches. And so he got this G-Shock watch. And when he had his accident, he slid across the pavement and ground the the rubber around it.
I remember those from the 80s. It probably still works, but it looks like hell. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it still works. It just looks 7 shades of shit. But he doesn't care too much. I guess it's like cool points or something like that. But
look what I did.
Yeah, I think that it's just, he was a lot more positive about it than I was. I was positively horrified. I couldn't sleep that night. I felt like a terrible parent. But I think we've moved on, thank goodness.
Yeah, it seems like you attempted to do the right thing and didn't have the right materials to do that. They didn't tell you what you needed to do.
Yes, and so I would encourage anybody who purchases their child an e-bike to make sure that they understand that I don't know even what it's called right now because I'm having a total brain fart. There's a bar that they put
axle?
in between. An axle, there you are. The axle that is shipped with it, you need to put a different axle in with different nuts. You have to change the axle to a special one.
Get the proper axle.
Yeah, exactly.
That was my Axl Rose impression.
I saw that. That was
Axl
nice.
Rose.
Yeah,
it's the only thing I can do. I can't do any words or anything. I can just do Axl Rose. So talking about that accident, I just thought up, do you think that people that work in trauma centers, like the really bad emergency rooms, they see all this stuff come in, all this death, doom, and destruction, and people dying and open chest wounds. Do you think that they are more or less religious, or are they the same? Do you think that sort of thing makes you closer to God, or do you think it is so black and white that, okay, people die and we are just meat, that it makes them less religious?
It's a good question. And I do have a very select data set. One of my best friends in the whole wide world is a former trauma nurse. And on one hand, my really good friend is deeply religious. Deeply religious.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, the other person I knew was not religious, but was very scientific and matter of fact about things.
So it could go either way. Yeah, I think you're saying they're just like normal people.
I think they're just like normal people, although they have a lot more, I guess, rules around what they would and wouldn't do. I think from their experience, they're less likely to allow their children to have a trampoline, less likely to allow their children to have access to fireworks. They are less likely to keep a gun in their home.
Right.
All of these sorts of things. Actually, at Christmas, this friend that I'm talking about came over and she said, in all of my years in the hospital, I never once saw somebody who'd been shot from a home invasion, but I've seen a lot of people who were shot in their home by their own gun, especially children.
Right. It's that 70% statistic or whatever that is that you're more likely to use it on a member of your own family. And
Yeah, exactly that.
I just thought of that phrase. What was that old-timey like World War II phrase? There's no atheists in foxholes. And, well, maybe nowadays there are because,
Maybe.
Also, I want to keep going with my ongoing messages for ICE agents. We have ICE agents listening to this show, and I want to make sure we take care of them and help them out as we go through our day and they do their job. This week's tip is there are tons of illegal immigrants at the corporate offices of Skydance, Paramount, and CBS News. There are tons of illegal immigrants in the office, I heard, of Barry Weiss. Her specifically, I hear she's hiding illegal immigrants, and there are tons of illegal immigrants even at her house, as I understand it. Barry Weiss of CBS News. That's just the rumor, but I want to pass that on for the ICE agents listening here this week.
This morning, my son came in to express horror about how much ICE agents are paid. And I don't know if this is true. I haven't verified it. But he said that starting salaries are $100,000 and they're being offered something like a $45,000 or $50,000 signing bonus.
That's what I heard, too. As you were starting to talk about that, I said, isn't it $100,000? And it's like, yeah, that's more than I make. And I do a more valuable job than they do.
Well, and it got me thinking.
Wait, did I just say that's what I make?
Yeah.
I make way less than that. That's less than I make. Holy God.
You said that's more than I make.
Okay, thank God, because I wouldn't want to put that across because I'm not making that much money. Company I work for, Jesus Christ.
And it got me thinking, how much is enough for people to betray their principles?
Exactly.
I imagine that is the threshold. That's what we're getting to. Imagine that you're in a position where you're out of work and you need a certain amount of money. For many people, that's a bigger salary than I mean, I can still remember how long it took me to get to that amount of money working as an executive. Like it took a long time, right? And what does it take for people to betray their principles?
Well, and you have to kind of look at race too. Like if you're a white ICE agent, I still think you're a piece of shit of a person. But if you're a Hispanic or brown, any type of brown ICE agent, I think you're even more of a sellout and you're even more despicable. Because you're selling out your own race and you're selling out the minority part of our society.
Yeah, it's how much do you have to get paid to turn on your own people? But I think that so many of these ICE agents and so many of the people who are being victimized, at least in my state at the moment, it's a comedy of errors. It is very hard to find an example of where they got their man. Do you know what I mean? Like they're getting the wrong people. They're becoming sticklers for stuff that happened 30 years ago. They're being so violent and brutal, and they're arresting a lot of Americans. So it feels, I don't know, it doesn't feel like we're getting our money's worth.
Well, and I think everybody, even the people that were so anti-Trump and so right-thinking, we at least had the assumption in our heads that though it's screwed up, at least it's going to be a little bit lawful. We didn't picture so many people getting arrested that were legitimate citizens. We didn't picture all of those people getting arrested for no reason. And we didn't picture so much lawlessness that is going on. Like it was hard to imagine that it would be this fucked up as it is.
Yes, there's been a lot of things that are terrifying. And the one big thing that I keep talking about is there was a woman who's an American citizen who was arrested, and she's young, and she went to court and she produced her birth certificate and her passport, I believe. And then the government has said those documents are fake. They've asserted that they're fake. And so what can you do? And this feels particularly dystopian because what can you do if you are a citizen of a country, you produce the documentation, you have witnesses to your birth, you were born in the country, in a country that recognizes birthright citizenship, you are now an adult, and then you are told that your documents are fake and will not be accepted, and you are faced with deportation to a place that you've never been to.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people pictured, okay, there's going to be a lot of agents stopping people on the streets, and if they don't have proper documentation, getting arrested. If they don't have a driver's license, getting arrested. But even in cases where they have everything and are legitimate citizens, they're getting arrested. And we would not have even fathomed that in our mind because we would think, oh, there's going to be so many lawsuits over this. But there can't be because those are going to go nowhere for the time being until down the road when we get this fucker out of office, and then those people can sue, and then it will come back on a decent administration and the people to pay those people back that have been inconvenienced and had their constitutional rights violated.
We live in hope. And
that's all we got right now.
That's all we got right now. And, you know, I talk a lot about my dad, who I absolutely love, and I would love to wish him a very happy birthday.
Yeah, if he's listening.
He might come and listen. Who knows? He does occasionally listen. But he and I had a lot of really big conversations over the holiday break because we both had time off from work. And I think it's no secret that he and I are often on, diametrically opposed in our opinions of stuff. But the one thing that I talked a lot about with him is I don't like where our money is being spent as taxpayers. Even if we just get back to this administration and the promises that were made. Is your grocery bill cheaper?
No, not at all.
No.
Nobody's is.
Nobody's is, right? Is gas lower? Do we have better education for our kids? Fundings are being cut in public education. here just in a way that is absolutely bonkers. And then we turn around and our government is giving billions of dollars to Boeing for F-15 fighter jets that are going to go to Israel.
It's all about the money. That's the thing. It's all about doing the wrong thing always to get attention and taking care of the big companies and the oil companies. And
And the military-industrial complex. Starting wars and intervening in places where, sticking our nose in where it's not wanted. There's so much work that needs to be done at home. And I see our country, whether I agree with it or not, but literally pissing away trillions of dollars on stuff that is not helping any of us as citizens.
And it occurred to me the other day, Tulsi Gabbard, who campaigned on anti-war establishment and that whole anti-war complex and not taking over other countries and installing new governments. She campaigned on that when she was wanting to be president, and now she's part of his cabinet, and she's been very quiet all of a sudden during all this, and this completely all goes against everything that she is said to believe in, but she's part of the cabinet and isn't saying a goddamn word. So Tulsi Gabbard, you're a spineless fucking toady too.
Exactly.
And I'm now referring to, we were going to get into it later, but this whole invasion of Venezuela.
Oh, yeah.
Gosh, we need those oil refineries, don't we? We sure need that. And as soon as that happened, I said, oh, they have a lot of oil. That's what this is about. And they weren't even talking about it at first. And now they're just openly saying it's about the oil and we need the oil. And we've always been critical of imperialistic assholes in this country. And now we are becoming that same imperialistic asshole because we have a Cheeto Hitler fucking lunatic running it. And he wants to take care of his oil buddies and make a lot of money because he knows when he's getting out of office, hopefully in November when we have other new leadership coming to our country, hopefully then he'll also be impeached, but he's doing everything he can to do the wrong thing and make a lot of money. And God, that happened. And it was a new kind of stunned for me. That's the thing that I felt like, wow, we are becoming those countries that invade other countries for their resources. And also, oh yeah, there's so much Hitler in that they say, oh, it's so base and so dumb to compare him to Hitler. Well, no, it's not. That's who he is. It's amazing to me.
Well, and as much as we don't like it, we absolutely are the country who invades other countries for their resources.
True.
And I will refer back to weapons of mass destruction. Because we are running the Iraq playbook here. Also, removing a leader that we don't approve of. I'll refer to Saddam Hussein. It worked out really well, didn't it? The rise of ISIS and all of that kind of thing. The Venezuelan approach, I may not get this 100% correct, so please chime in at any point in time. But I guess the position of the government is that he is an illegitimate president because he's the head of a cartel and they had an election, but he basically took over as a dictator. And the Venezuelan people are, for most accounts, positively delighted that he has been de-seated.
Right.
But that is actually divorced from another thing, which is the United States put in all the oil infrastructure because previously there was going to be an agreement between the two countries. But it was shut down, run by the Venezuelan government. We didn't get anything. And so it's absolutely 100% always been about the oil because the former president or the illegitimate president, he was not going to give us access to the oil. But I love the fact that I thought that Russia was now super buddy chum-chum with the president. And what he is doing is actually going to potentially negatively impact on Russia. And he just took an oil tanker, as of this morning, that was flying a Russian flag. And so are we going to go to war with Russia over this oil thing?
I think it's just at
happening?
His craziest whim. I think it's just, what do I want to do this morning? Yeah, let's fuck that up and let's take Nicolas Maduro hostage and dethrone him out of his own country and abduct him and take him to our country and let's put him on trial. And yeah, he's a bad guy. Everything I've seen says he's a bad guy, but it's not our job to take him out of power. And if you want to start doing that, There are hundreds of leaders across the world that we could do that with. Why are we doing it here? Oh, we were doing it because he was a drug runner. Wait, what happened to that? Oh, he's not a drug runner anymore. He's got a lot of oil. Now that's our focus. That's what we'll do. It's just so gross and deceptive and shitty.
And it's so funny because think back to that amazing film that we refer to quite regularly on the show, Team America.
I thought you were going to say Wag the Dog. That's the other one.
Team America.
Yeah, you're right.
World police. The United States is not the world police. And the other thing that I find most disconcerting is the obsession with Greenland, which is obviously a part of the Kingdom of Denmark, and how they want to take it over. It is now the US's official position that we need Greenland, and military force is not necessarily off the table. But as Stephen Miller has, I don't know why he thinks that this is position, but that no one will try to fight the United States over Greenland. I think that we're wrong about that. I think they will. But it ignores the fact that, and maybe this is common knowledge, maybe it isn't, but the United States has an agreement with Greenland. We have military bases in Greenland right now. But in fact, over the last 10, 15 years, we have closed 30 of them. We have unfettered access to Greenland at the moment. We have an alliance. Although we don't with the UK for intelligence, the UK just cut us off from intelligence, which is going to be bad for the United States.
We are going to do whatever benefits us, and we are going to do whatever benefits the demented whim of that motherfucker, and it is just ridiculous. And I have to wonder what kind of things are secretly happening behind the scenes, whether it's in this country or people wanting to take him out because he is so out of his mind, and they have to have the highest security for him right now. And the only thing I could say is, geez, it would be great if security took the day off a day or two. And, you know, he's ineffective, he's crazy, and he's going to get us all killed and wreck our country if he doesn't get us all killed. It's amazing to me that not more has been done, even in the last week. Congress, maybe get off your ass and come off vacation and let's start working this out. And I can't imagine how, unless you're a hardcore MAGA kook Republican, you support this. And it's just so disheartening. And again, this was a special one that when I heard it, I just went, oh, fuck, this now in the middle of our holiday. And this feels stupidly dark and just like it's the worst thing in the world that I never could have imagined. And here we are living it.
It's ridiculous. And the hypocrisy is staggering. In one breath, he's condemning a now suggested false drone attack on Putin's home. And then literally the next minute, he's attacking Maduro and his wife in their bed at home. Yeah. So choose a lane.
You never have to worry about hypocrisy when you're him because he just never has to explain it. And his sycophants are on their knees blowing him constantly. So what are you going to do?
Yeah, but I think that it is, even the most diehard fans are starting to ask questions around why is he doing all of these things. He is behaving like a man who has favors that he needs to deliver on.
And is crazy. And yeah, I would like to think that even the most hardcore GOP Republican kooks are starting to go, maybe he's a little bit crazy. What is he doing? Maybe we should start looking at this because, yeah, we needed to a year ago.
Yeah. And by the way, show us the Epstein files. You can start a war. You can start as many wars as you want to try and distract the American public from what was promised to us. But you know that the day that they invaded Venezuela, well, us, when we invaded Venezuela, was when they were supposed to release the co-conspirators. They didn't do it. So Show us Epstein files.
Well, and under this administration, we are never going to see the Epstein files. And Democrats know we are never going to see the full Epstein files under this administration. And their tactic is just to get out there and make it publicly known that those are never going to be released under this administration, so that people remember that when they go to their polling place in November and in the next election,
And
if there is one.
So, Epstein files.
Yeah.
Do you believe?
I'm not in them. I figured that's where you were going. And no, I'm into my own thing, but
I
no.
I would never, ever do that. I know you're into feet. Grown man feet.
Yeah.
Hot. Do you believe that the Epstein files, that they're all in it? Like, all of these people, it doesn't matter what their political affiliation is, it's just riddled with elite from all around the world.
Probably, and I think it's to varying degrees. I think maybe even Clinton did stuff he should not have done. And if that's the case, I'm willing to say, okay, Clinton should go to jail too. Fuck that guy if he did that. Anybody that raped 14-year-old girls should go to jail. And if you had sex with a 14-year-old, I basically consider that rape, because age of consent, that whole nonsense. If you did that, you should be in jail. And some of the stuff that has been rumored about Trump, if half of that is true, he should absolutely be in jail for the rest of his life, and tormented in jail in a horrible way. And I feel that for anybody that did those types of things.
Yeah, they should hunt them all down.
Yep.
And it must be on both sides of the aisle, because under both administrations, we haven't seen what we should have. And in fact, it was delayed by so many years. The FBI received numerous tips about Jeffrey Epstein, and one particularly horrific one, and they didn't open a file until 9 years later. And people, even if you look at Ghislaine Maxwell, they only put the 4 best witnesses on the stand. There was 100 to choose from.
I remember when that happened, before it was even really in the news, friends talking about that who were in the know, and they said, all of this horrible stuff is going on and nobody's doing anything about it. Why is no one doing anything about it? And if you look back, if you had to extract and guess, this isn't fact, but the Democratic administration didn't really do anything about it. It carried on into this administration, and now they're starting to do something about it. You would kind of think that they were protecting someone, and based on Clinton being maybe connected to it, maybe they were protecting him, and maybe that's why nothing got taken care of then. And maybe now it is because it's like, okay, we have to do this because we have no other recourse, and that's the only action that we can take. And if he gets taken down in the process, oh well. And I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I think they should all burn in hell.
Yeah, that'd be great.
On this side, they should all be busted.
Literally burn in hell. If there were a hell, let's have a hell and them cooking.
And them cooking. Yeah, get cooked.
Yeah. So I didn't know we were going to go all political there. But there you go. I had this fun thing. I wanted to bring this up from unofficial producer Scott. Been listening to this show since day one. That's hard for me to imagine. I don't even want to do that. This week or last week or whenever this was, he sent it to me. The Philadelphia Flyers suspended a radio play-by-play broadcaster named Thomas Saunders for making inappropriate comments on the air.
He's gone asunder.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Look at you with the quick wit. Did you hear about this story? Do you know why he got suspended?
I cannot wait. I have not heard of it, but I would like to.
I have the clip here. We'll play it, and then there's a gap before it happens, and you can kind of guess where it goes, because I was guessing as I was listening, and it went a very different direction than I had thought, and well, here you go.
Osland, the goal scorer, is late in the second period, and Philadelphia, we said sometimes the Flyers get a sense of urgency when they're playing from behind. Now they're going to take the TV timeout. We'll take it as well. 7 gone in the third. It's 3-2 Buffalo on the Philadelphia Flyers broadcast network.
Okay, now based on what you heard, I saw you react. Where do you think this is going?
Oh, it's definitely going in the direction of hot mic anal sex.
That's what I thought, because of the take it from behind comment or whatever that was, right?
Right, but it's some sort of, this is a hot mic incident, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
It is not he has said this while he knew he was on the air.
Oh, no.
I feel like this is a problem.
Yeah, this is going to be a problem. And I thought exactly like you, but you will see that we were wrong. There's some silence here and some muttering, and then it just comes out of nowhere.
Who's that?
Pop it up.
Toilet.
While you're down there, would you mind blowing me? I think we're still on the air, Tim.
He just told him they were still on the air. Hang on.
I think we're still on the air, Tim.
Oops.
No, we're not, are we?
Oh, yeah, you are. So that's how his life went, and then he got suspended. And yeah, that you never want to do that. If you're in front of a microphone, unless you're on this show, you'd worry about what you're going to say.
Oh, that is sad. Who did he say it to?
I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know what is behind that. Somebody must have been down there, an engineer patching something or doing something. And while you're down there, why don't you blow me? Oh, man. And I wondered, did an engineer or a producer or somebody get fired for that, for not completely potting him down? I wonder if that's a thing. I would hope not. It's his own fault.
I think it's his own fault. But I can also see how in a sports broadcasting capacity, that sort of stuff happens all the time.
Yeah. The idea is that in front of a mic, you don't say anything that you don't want to go out on the air, even if it's off. That's the understanding you're supposed to have. Yeah.
It is. But that sort of banter in the crew, it's probably a long-running joke. I don't think he was sexually
no, he was talking to somebody that was down there doing something.
His
and it was
engineer.
That stupid thing.
They were probably laughing about it too. Yeah. It wouldn't have been... I think it's a completely different story if it was work experience Rebecca. I think that's a completely different scenario. I'd love to know who was under the desk because I do think that context matters. There will be people who disagree with me and say, oh, Emily, they'll clutch their pearls and say, that is never appropriate. And
a joke can be a joke. I'm sorry to say. I know that we're in the 2020s, but a joke can still be a joke. It's okay. And that reminded me, too, of a joke that we played when I was in radio. We did this to Tony, my old program director, who used to be the voiceover guy for the show. He did the intro and outro.
Oh, yes, sir. Tony.
When I worked at that station, we would get bad weather during the summers, and we would get knocked off the air routinely. And the transmitter was not working. Like there was no way for anything to go out. But if there was a new person on the air and that happened, Tony would say, why don't you go on the mic there and tell everybody that we're not on and we're going to be back soon. Do a courtesy. We tell people to do a courtesy. And the new person, not realizing that we were not transmitting, we're off the air, would often go and do it. So it happened one time when he was on the air and he was just sitting there screwing around, and he put the mic down in cue, which means it isn't even up. It's what you used to hear in the studio. And he, in cue, said, ain't this giant monkey got a big motherfucking baboon butt? Because he used to say weird stuff like that. And then what I did was I had our staff come in one by one and tell him that they were out driving around and heard him saying something about a monkey and a big motherfucking baboon butt. And I had them do it one by one and just watched him get more and more freaked out. And about the time I had the general manager and owner of the station did it, and he was getting really freaked out, that is the time that I let him in on the joke. And that is one of my fun memories.
That is really funny. I don't have anything as fun as that, but...
Because you did news and stuff, right?
I did. I did general news reporting and also sports, not compare type stuff, but sports coverage for things. And this is a separate story from a separate career in events. Once had somebody who was mic'd up, and this happens surprisingly often, but I think the soundies had walked away from the desk for God knows whatever reason, and this person with lapel mic is off, and goes to the toilet, and you just hear them releasing a massive hot stream of piss.
I've heard those stories.
Like go,
That's great.
you gotta like run to turn it off.
Well, we should do that here sometime. We'll just, I got my wireless on. Hang on, I'll be right back. We should do that. Is this show ever going to be recorded on an April 1st? I've wondered that. We should look at that. Even if it's 10 years down the line, we'll have to see if we've ever got an April 1st recording coming up, because then we can do some stuff to screw with people.
We could do some stuff and some things.
Yeah.
This year, we will be recording on April 1st. I shit thee not. This year.
I shouldn't have said that. Now I have a responsibility. God damn it.
Now you have a responsibility. You've made a commitment.
But we've also put it out there, so I feel like we've given away. We're not going to do anything. There's nothing special coming up ever around that time. No special recordings there in springtime.
Springtime.
Will Smith is in the news.
Oh, wow.
Did you hear this story?
Exciting. No, I haven't heard this story. I've been so deep into politics. I've not only lost the will to live, but I've also lost connection with the common man.
Well, this is good because you can be the common listener and I can get your reaction to this. And it's a sexual harassment thing.
New information coming in overnight. A violinist who was touring with Will Smith last year is now suing him over retaliation allegations. So here's what we know. According to the lawsuit, the violinist, Brian King Joseph, says last March, while in Las Vegas for a performance, he returned to his hotel room to find random items, including a beer bottle, HIV medication, and a note that said, "Brian, I'll be back later, just us." Now, the lawsuit says the plaintiff feared that an unknown individual would soon return to his room to engage in sexual acts with plaintiff.
Now,
wait a minute.
Just us. That sounds like something Will Smith would say, like, just us. But we, to be fair, don't know who left the note. It could be a member of management or anybody, really. But there's been rumors about Will Smith for a while, and his entire family sucks. I don't want to lose sight of that.
Sure. However,
yeah,
you're in a hotel.
Yeah.
Just go down. Make sure that no other keys have been coded to your room.
You said go down. I thought you were talking about something completely different there. Wait, you're going with this?
Well,
that doesn't sound ethical to me.
Yeah. But you're in a hotel. Like, how much of, sorry, no offense, but what a fucking pussy. Like, somebody's gone into your room, oh, you've got HIV meds and a beer bottle, and someone's writing a, "we'll be back later." It's your fucking room, cockhead. You don't have to let somebody in.
What are the HIV meds, though, is the thing. And I think somebody got into his room without his knowledge is the thing. And what is the message being sent with the HIV meds? I've got AIDS, but it's going to be okay, and we're going to do you anyway. I'm trying to interpret all this.
Well, I'm going to make an assumption here, but there is things like once a day pills that can help reduce your viral load, and also, there's a whole thing about it. However, it would say to me more like somebody had been in there and those are personal items. Maybe I'm not the right person here, but they've obviously been triggered by this, whereas I'd be like, this has got to be some sort of mistake. I'm not going to assume that someone with AIDS is going to come back. Someone with HIV is going to come back and try and have sex with me. That seems like a very long bow to draw.
I advocate for the devil. I understand, but is it not weird that those were left in his room to begin with? Doesn't that send a message? And the other part of this is that he complained about it and then got fired. I think that's what the actual lawsuit is.
Oh.
Yeah.
So he complained
there's more
about
here.
that.
We'll play the rest of this.
Let's play more.
He says once he reported the incident to Smith's team, he was fired and told he was lying about what happened. And just coming in, a statement from Will Smith's attorney saying, "Mr. Joseph's allegations concerning my client are false, baseless, and reckless. They are categorically denied, and we will use all legal means available to address these claims and to ensure that the truth is brought to light."
So he's suggesting that Will Smith did that to him and then he got fired.
I don't even know if he's suggesting that. I think he's suggesting that the facts are this was left in my room and I complained about it and then I was fired. Maybe he's implying, but I don't think legally he's suggesting. I think it could go either way. I think those are the facts, and I think that's what he's going with.
Why did he complain to Will Smith's team? See,
because he was on the tour and it happened while they were on the tour and it was in his hotel room.
Yeah.
And that's the way it shook out, apparently.
Yeah, but people don't have access willy-nilly to your hotel room. Like when you're on tour and stuff, that makes no sense at all. It would be a problem with the hotel, not to accuse, like to say that your boss has done that or somebody's done that. I think it's wrong for them to say that he's lying. I don't think we're getting the full story because he must have had to make an accusation against someone rather than just saying, hey guys, somebody's busted into my room. What the fuck? Can I please move rooms or something?
Well, does he though? Could he have made that accusation and everybody kind of knew where it came from, whether that was a member of management or Will Smith or somebody, and if he made that accusation and they fired him, then that is basis for the lawsuit, I think.
Well, yeah, if it
I think that's what he's saying.
Down,
that's what's being implied anyway.
If that's true, if it did actually happen by the person that he accused of doing it, then yeah. But what if it was some other random?
I can even go with, hey, that happened and it was a bad, shitty joke and he complained and maybe that should be the end of it. But if that happens and then somebody gets fired over it, to me, that's the extra step of, okay, yeah, now you have a legitimate complaint. And maybe if it wasn't a case of somebody being fired, you suck it up and move on with life.
Yeah. Sure.
Like the Lizzo situation. Do you remember when that happened? She went out partying with a bunch of her dancers and contestants. She was on that dancing weight loss show, whatever it was, and she was getting sued because I guess they went to a strip club and they felt sexually harassed because she was being outrageous and telling them to do stuff with bananas and like, okay, not appropriate, but it seemed like she got sued for having a really big party and going too far. It didn't seem like that should be a legal offense, in my opinion, at least based on what I heard.
Yeah. It has to be repeated unwanted behavior. Okay, someone can ask you to deep throat a banana once and you can say, no thanks, I'm trying to cut down. If they then try to keep going or goad you into it or try to harass you into doing it, or if they come back tomorrow with another banana,
right,
then that itself is a pattern of behavior. But a bunch of drunk people at a strip club already being outrageous, if you decide where your limit is and you want to lay down the law, that's great. Do that. But I agree with you. I don't think
the Lizzo thing seemed like a stretch and it seemed like an opportunist looking to get some cash out of it. But the corporations nowadays, and I know because I have to take my modules, my 3-hour courses here and there, it has to be repeated, or if it is huge and egregious enough, you can be fired or terminated if it's something that really violates company ethics and legalities and that sort of thing. So.
Yeah, right. Like Lizzo wasn't holding the banana. You know what I mean? She's not.
She might have been, actually.
Really?
You said that and I thought, okay, based on the story, maybe she was. But even that, it's like, okay, they were at a strip club or a sex club and it was going on. And it was obviously either somebody very fired up and getting into it when she shouldn't have been, or somebody just making a joke. So maybe you could let that go based on what I know. I mean, if somebody was really assaulted, that's another story.
Yeah, if somebody's actually assaulted, I think it would be an entirely different thing.
Yeah.
If the person in the first story, the violinist, gets to his room, Will Smith is in there drinking from said beer bottle, I don't know, taking the HIV, I don't know what it is, or leaves it, gets up and goes, leaves a note and says, I'll be back later, just us. Okay, that'd be freaking crazy and insane.
I just thought of this. What if the violinist that filed the lawsuit has AIDS and hasn't come out publicly with that, and that's what the implication of that medication is? Like, hey, I know you got this, but here's some medication. Let's go. That even kind of furthers the story, and that kind of makes sense in this, I think.
If that person is HIV positive.
Yeah. I don't know that that's the case. I'm just thinking like, okay, there's some implication in that, and why is that bottle there? They're saying something.
They would almost certainly already be taking medication if they were HIV positive. And so it would be strange to have... The other thing too is that these medications are prescription based. So that medication would have had somebody's name on it.
Right. And I'm sure that's been taken into record and into account as well.
Yeah. And then a note. Was it to someone from someone, or is it just a note?
I think the note was to him, signed with whatever that alias was, just us or something. And that sounds like something Will Smith would do with his fucking ego. It's just us, you know? But that's my bias because him and his entire family suck. That's how I feel.
Yeah. I mean, he's a cock. Right. I don't.
And you heard about Jada, right?
Oh my God, which part?
Well, I heard she was a Venezuelan drug lord, is the latest I heard. And I also heard that Jaden tortures animals. And I don't know if this is true, but I just heard the other day, too, about Willow. She apparently is still using plastic bags at the grocery store.
I wouldn't put it past her.
Asshole.
Meet me at our spot, bitch.
There you go.
Yeah, no. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, they give me the heebie-jeebies, that whole family.
They feel like they have their own cult, like they have their own weird cult thing, and they go through life that way, and that they have the money and stardom to back it up is kind of the way they feel to me.
But a lot of celebrities, I believe, are like that.
Yeah.
It's like that book or the Emperor's New Clothes. They surround themselves with sycophants and they start to believe their own bullshit, and then they become completely blind to how obtuse they are as human beings. And then they become like a caricature of a real person and of themselves. Like, surely if you took them and showed themselves to each other 30 years ago, like if they went back in time, they'd be like, who are these fucking maniacs?
Well, and she was important because she was dating Tupac, and they had this relationship that will never be equaled. And oh my God, Tupac. And she apparently brings that up to Will constantly, so he's dealing with that. And they allegedly have an open relationship, which kind of plays into this. And there's all those rumors that you don't know if they're true, but the things that make you go, well, see how that goes.
The concept of an open relationship is, I mean, ethical non-monogamy, I believe it is called. And I know people who practice that, but I don't know anybody who's married who does that. But I personally couldn't. And I don't see how that can be good for your relationship.
No, it always ends badly every time I've seen it. And, well, you just have to have an understanding. No, you're going to fuck it up somehow, and that's what's going to fuck up your relationship. That's my opinion.
Yep. No, thanks. Hard pass. I'd love to hear from somebody who raves about it.
Yeah, and when you see them interviewed, because I try to watch things like that, and you see those people interviewed, and I've heard them on the radio, and they always are arguing good, logical points, and what they say makes sense, but emotionally it doesn't make sense, and they have that vibe, that alert that goes off that says this is a horribly chaotic person. It's not even what they say. It's just that vibe that you get from them that says they are really screwed up and really chaotic, and stuff happens that we don't even know about. And that's who that person is. And that's why they're doing that.
If I got comfortable to a point where I'm like, you know what, my spouse, I don't actually care about who they have sex with or anything like that. That would be a cue to me that I'm no longer
Yeah, why be in the relationship? We've said that before. Why would you cheat on somebody? Just get out of the relationship.
Yeah, exactly. Although there is a Tarzan theory, which is the Tarzan theory is that most people won't leave a relationship until another vine is swinging their way because they're afraid to be alone.
And then I'll bring this up, probably not as much for women, but for men. What if your partner was disabled and you kind of had the understanding that, okay, I can't do anything sexual with them. So now they've given me the okay to go outside the relationship, and I'm doing that because I still have my needs, and they've okayed it. How do you feel about that?
I still don't feel great about it.
Yeah, it's still weird to me, but I understand it more.
Yeah, I understand it more, but
also, I'm a dude.
I also know people who are in relationships where, say, someone is in a wheelchair, and it doesn't mean it's the end of your sex life. So I don't know. I think that people who want to have that kind of lifestyle will find a way to justify having that kind of lifestyle.
Yeah, probably true.
Regardless of what the circumstances are.
All right. We'll wrap up here with entertainment stuff. Have you seen, because I think you were into it, you and your family, the Stranger Things? I have not.
Yes, but no spoilers, because we are only on part of the way through season 4. We started back episode 1, season 1, and we've been watching it all the way through so that we can watch season 5, which has thus concluded last week. Yeah.
Let me know what you think when you get there. Overall, we can talk about it from the point of view that I have watched people rave about this show and how great it is. And I watched 4 seasons of it because it was on, but I've never really been able to get into it. It doesn't work for me in a huge way. And then it got to the end of this season, which I guess is the last season, and people are pissed off about it for some reason. I don't know what happened there. But has it really grabbed you, or is it something that you watch because your kids are into it? It doesn't hold me like other things hold me, and I feel like, okay, I'll stick it out. Whatever. There's nothing else, Nothing
else. I think season 1 kind of grabbed me a little bit more. Season 2, season 3 were just kind of blah.
Right.
Season 4 as well, it's a bit more gory and scary, but I'm not compelled. And it's not, and I can tell that our entire family is not compelled because the kids don't want to watch it anymore. They'd rather watch something else. Like, we don't want to go back and finish it. It feels like a piece of meat that we've just over-chewed and it's just there.
Right.
And we're like, oh, fuck, we got to swallow this thing, but we just don't want to. It's just like, it hasn't grabbed me. Not like Mobland.
Oh, I haven't done Mobland.
It's a Guy Ritchie series. A lot of amazing actors.
Is it modern day? Is it old timey? Is it like Sopranos kind of, or what?
It's modern day.
Okay.
Based in England around a crime family called the Harrigans and their ongoing war with the Stevensons. And it really centers around a guy named Harry, who is the fixer and enforcer for the Harrigan family. Dame Helen Mirren is in it. She's
like her.
Absolutely fantastic. Yeah. It's Tom Hardy who plays Harry.
I like to call him Hardy Tom. He likes that.
Hardy Tom.
Hello, Hardy Tom.
Hello. And so many other amazing actors. It's like every time you go to a new scene, you're like, oh, that guy. Oh, that lady. Oh, this
cameos.
person. Yeah, well, and I mean, they are committed to the project. They are playing characters in the show, and they're really fantastic. You really suspend your disbelief at it, and it is just a wild ride. I have not gone back to watch more Pluribus.
I was just about to ask about that. It's on my list. Try to get to that. I'm interested in your thoughts about it because I liked it, but it got to the end, and I'm like, okay, I see what they're doing, but I don't feel like there was enough, and I don't feel like they moved it along enough, and they could have gone further, and I feel a little bit cheated, but it's still good is how I feel.
I don't like the pacing.
Yeah, it's a little bit slow.
I find it dry and a bit, slow and boring. It's like, how many times are we going to just sit here and just have me stare at you, staring at that? It's just...
Well, and I felt that way ultimately about Stranger Things, too. I was going to mention that. Other than the first couple seasons, I felt like this entire season could have really been edited down to one episode, and it could have just been one movie with the stuff that you gave us. And you can tell that they're doing these miniseries to keep people watching, and that's what it is. But I still feel like the Pluribus, based on the writing and her acting, is so much better than so many things out there.
Yeah, I will give you that. I'm a bit snobby when it comes to the TV that I like. It's either got to be, look at me talking out both sides of my mouth. It's either got to be sort of trash-tastic filler, like, not really deep, but kind of feel good and cute, like Young Sheldon or Big Bang Theory or something like that, like interesting, but that rom-com type thing. Or it has to be actually interesting and gritty with interesting characters and interesting storylines. Have you ever watched Luther?
No, but you said Big Bang Theory, and I'm holding my tongue. I'm being nice to you because, oh my God, it is just the worst show ever, and it's a show I've made fun of forever on this show, and it's just terrible. I would be lax if I didn't say that. That's my opinion. It's terrible.
Do you like what's her name? Kaylee Cuoco?
I do. I like her as a person. She's a great podcast guest.
You should watch her latest show where they make a podcast.
Oh, I didn't even know about that. I'll check that out.
Oh, yes. Okay, let me just think of what it is. The premise is this husband and wife team. She's obsessed with real crime podcasts, and her husband are sort of down on their luck. He's a former tennis pro, and he's a tennis pro at a tennis club. And I can't say too much without giving it away, but it has to do with a serial killer and them developing a serial killer podcast. It
seems like there's a lot of shows trying to be Only Murders in the Building lately. There was another one I tried watching the other day that's like, okay, they're trying to be only... Oh, there's a Ted Danson show that came up on one of the streamer things, and I tried watching that, and it's like, okay, this is Only Murders in the Building for old people, and I'm not into that. And it seems like that hit big, and now a lot of them are trying to do that. And while you're looking it up, I'll bring up theater movies. This goddamn Avatar is like the biggest thing ever, and that just amazes me. I have zero interest in that. I walked out of the first one because of the first one. I think it was in 1975, the first one came out. It just felt like a big tech demo. Have you gone to see that with the kids? Have you any interest in it? I feel
Avatar?
like theater movies, are mostly for teens and kids and cartoons and that kind of thing lately.
We wanted to go and see Wicked for good, but my kids decided that they didn't want to be a part of that because they heard that there was people singing in the theaters, and that would drive them absolutely bananas. They don't want to be a part of some bullshit where people are singing at the screen. They want to go and watch the movie. So we're going to watch in our basement instead. The show is called, by the way, quick callback, based on a true story. And the premise is a realtor, a former tennis star, and a plumber seize a unique opportunity to capitalize on America's obsession with true crime. That grabbed me, and we binged it. I think that you would like it.
Someone is at the front door.
Someone is at the front door. Someone is at the front door. So, yes, highly recommend that.
And then I will say that I went to try to go watch Song Sung Blue, Kate Hudson and Hugh Jackman, and it was okay. I left early because I thought I could be doing other things. It's about a husband and wife Neil Diamond tribute group, and that was going to be interesting, but I just was not that into it. And they made Kate Hudson look bad. I don't want to be like a typical dude, but they made her like, I'm like, wow, I have that kind of gut. Look at that. And I don't mean to be base about it, but that kind of turned me off. And I felt like some of the scenes were too high energy. They felt disingenuous to me, and I wanted to like it more, but then didn't. That is my movie review of Song Sung Blue. It'll be on home video, I'm sure, next week because it's not doing a lot, but whatever.
I like that we're still referring to things as tape and video on this show.
Yeah, it's hard not to.
We are young. We are free.
Yeah. Isn't that a Pat Benatar song? We are young. We're heartache to heartache. We stand. Love is a battlefield is what I'm telling you.
Love is a battlefield, Stu.
Yes. Really quick, everybody watch this show. What is the show called? Age of Disclosure on HBO. Find it, check it out. UFOs are real. That's what I'm going to tell you, and maybe we'll talk about it more in coming weeks because we're out of time. But there's a lot of stuff going on in that documentary, The Age of Disclosure on HBO. It's legitimate people talking about stuff. So
I've always believed.
I haven't, but I do now, and that's more that we can talk about in the coming weeks.
That is true, because we have talked about this on the show before, and this was one of the things that you and I were not on the same page about. I'm excited. Well, let's talk about it next week.
All righty. Everybody have a great one. Good to be back. Nice talking to you.
Happy New Year!
Oh, it was 39 minutes that was supposed to be, and now it's 42, I think. God damn it.
Drat. I've missed it. You should have seen our fireworks display.
Oh, Happy New Year.
Happy
Blow
New
shit
Year.
up.
Blow shit up. It was so egregious that one of our neighbors sent her son around to ride his bike to figure out where it was coming from and then send me a text message to say, thanks, nice fireworks display.
Wow. Well, there it is. Okay, we're really going now. Goodbye.
Happy New Year. Goodbye.
Okay, you know how this goes. Like us, subscribe, tell your friends, write a nice review, engage with us. We're Total Babble on Instagram, on Facebook, on Threads, and on Blue Sky. Email is show@totalbabble.com. The Total Babble Podcast.